Welcome to Financials with Ahawo. Thank you for making time to join our Financial Wellness Conversations podcast. We are building up our conversation on portfolio growth. We've been going at this for a while, and I don't want us to relent because there are core things when it comes to building a portfolio that is important for us to get, because we're here to invest widely and wisely. We'll start with the scripture, and this is from Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. And it says, "Again, I saw under the sun, the race is not to the swift, no battle to the strong, no bread to the wise, no riches to the intelligent, no favor to those with knowledge, but time and chance happen to them all." Why do we start with this particular scripture on time? Is to emphasize the fact that we each will have our opportunity to build our portfolio, but we have to be cognizant to the fact that it will take time. That it's not going to be a one-hit wonder. It's not going to be even 1 year, 2 years. Some of the things that we want to grow in our portfolio will take a long time. Remember, in one of the videos, we talked about building our savings. So when we start to build our portfolio with savings, the purpose of the savings is to grow. The purpose of the savings is to have enough so that we can be able to do something that we had anticipated to. And when we do these savings, it's important to give them a name. The next thing after savings is that we invest. Why do we invest? We invest now because we want growth. We invest now because we want a return. We invest now because we want value. We just don't want whatever we have been saving to stay at the value it was at. And you see, this will take time. Today, I might have the ambition of owning a block of apartments. But for me to do that, I need to save what it will take maybe to buy the land. And then I need to prepare for what it will take for me to be able to now develop the land. So being cognizant to the fact that building a portfolio takes time enables us to be not only patient with ourselves, but also trust the process and also allow God to take us step by step. You'll hear me say this often: God does not throw up, He lifts up. And in the same way you take steps, you will take the stairs, you will have to pause, you'll have to come back, you'll have to rethink, but you stay on that journey. As we relate to steps, one of the things I remember is a few years back, I got the opportunity to visit Frankfurt in Germany. And the key site in this city is an old tower that has a bell at the top. And you can only get to the top to see the bell and to get an amazing view of the city by taking over 300 steps. And I kid you not, when we started, we were very excited. You know, we're in this new country, this new city. And as any tourist, you want to say, I went, I saw, maybe even I conquered. So we get in, pay, and begin to take the journey up. So the first thing we realize is, wait, this is a really squeezed tower. And then it's quite dark because this is like old building. And then the steps are really tiny. And it was a journey. Thankfully, we were a group. We motivated each other. And yes, we made it to the top. And at the top of those steps, it was worth it. The view, we inscribed our names on the stone, everything that we had gone through to get to the top of that steps, even the €5 we had paid, was worth it. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with our portfolio, that it's going to take time, that we're going to have to build up with patience, knowing that there's a goal we have, but we're not going to reach it today or even tomorrow. I'll bring us back to a scripture we had already read, but just one particular verse, Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6. It says, "In the morning sow your seed, and at evening withhold not your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, or whether both alike will be good." So as we are building this portfolio, we are going to have different times during which we invest. And just as life, it has its lows and highs. It has its valleys and its hills. We're going to have a time where we're doing really well and we can put this money in and go. Then we're going to have time where we can even have to pull back, remove some of the things that we had invested and reinvest them somewhere else. I can give an example that I've been learning. So as I've been reading a book by Warren Buffett's investment strategy, one of the things I realized is they were doing an analysis of investing in the stock market versus investing in the bond market. So stay with me. So when we're investing in the stock market, the value add we get is that the share price of the company will appreciate, or we get a dividend payout that comes back to us as an income. But interesting fact there, the dividend income that comes is subject to tax. So it reduces our earning long term. So let's say we decide to stay with this share for 10 years. Come back to the bond market. So the bond market will come, we buy a bond, they pay us off twice a year. Each of the returns that we get is going to be taxed. Again, overall reduces our income. Let's come back to the shares. So we come and buy the shares of this company, but now there's a plot twist. The company does not issue out dividends. Instead, it keeps the dividends as retained earnings and plugs it into the business for growth. So over a period of 10 years, I'm not going to withdraw this money. I had planned to stay there for 10 years, provided the share value is appreciating and the business makes sense. So when I pull out my money, it has, and this is now with a dividend retained, I have been subject to income tax or whatever tax just once. But with this bond, I have been subject to tax throughout 10 years, 2 times a year, every time I get a payout. Question, do you want to stay in the bond? Do you want to take the stock? So you begin to realize that as you take this journey step by step, you learn things that make you even want to change. And that's why we are not running. That's why even if then we say we run, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, 400-meter. No, it's a long haul kind of journey that we're doing. And I'll allude to what we talked about with the financial life cycle. If we're looking through the financial life cycle, between the ages of 0 to 17, we're learning, we're building knowledge. Between the ages of 18 to 45, we're accumulating. Bring. From far and wide, I'm looking for that money. But then we come to the ages of 45 to 65, and we are consolidating. Where did it go? How did it pan out? Was it a worthwhile investment? Did the land appreciate in value? Is that bond still, bringing in what it should if I decide to stay there? And things like that. And then we come to the formative or the slower years, if you can call them that, 65 all the way to as long as God will give us, where now we are transferring. Now we are saying I have accumulated this, maybe I need it in cash. Maybe this child or this company or this charity or this business needs to be thought about differently. So when we are building slowly, we understand that we'll have times to do different things, but we also are willing to start small. And you'll hear me say this many times, and you'll hear even anybody else that we are talking to say this many times. Don't be afraid to start with the little that you have. Don't be afraid to build up from the place of, I'm building discipline. I'm not even saving this, or I'm not even investing this for the purpose of it becoming a big thing right now. I'm just building my portfolio discipline. I'm building on the fact that I said, I'll have a bit of money for land. I'll have a bit of money for stock. I'll have a bit of money for my business. So that means also, as you build slowly, you have your strategy. You must work on a strategy, and you must stay committed to that strategy. You must document that strategy. Have a journal. Have people who you talk to, and keep yourself accountable on that journey to grow your portfolio step by step. I know these nuggets are amazing. Take time and just break it down for yourself. Do it in a way that it will be constructive to you as you build your portfolio. Thank you for listening. It's Ahawo. God bless you.